So we're on our way to interview Colette from Pilates for Life, just to hear more about her story. She's had her studio since 2002, so I want her to share with you her challenges, the things she loves, what it feels like to work with instructors who are working for her, clients that are difficult, things that she absolutely adores about her job, her toughest day, her easiest day, because I think you're going to see there's a lot of parallel lines between what you experience and what she experiences. And that's super important, is that you know you're not alone. So let's check it out. Colette, been doing this since 2002, and actually I opened my studio in 2002.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
And I see you've got a ballet and a dance background.
Yes.
Me too.
Oh my word.
And I see you did something at Technicon.
Yes, I did like a catering course the first year of
so I
like
studied dancing.
food hospitality and catering and stuff.
Okay, cool. So I studied dance at the Technicon.
Okay.
And then I know your ex-business partner, so it's a small world.
Yes.
And when we opened here, everybody asked me, am I the studio at the Spice Route?
Oh!
No, I'm not at the Spice Route. They're like, hello, is this the Spice Route? I'm like, no, you're at the wrong place.
Oh, shit. I think people phoned me to ask about you. So.
Oh, really? Okay, cool.
Yes.
Okay, so that must be good.
Yes.
So I wanted us just to go through a few questions, because I really think that other instructors need to hear other instructor stories, and you're one with more experience. So for new instructors opening studios, or who are fresh or have just qualified and they're looking for jobs, just the type of things that you look for, the things that were challenging for you, the things that you love about it. So I just want to go through a little bit of that.
Okay, perfect.
Cool. All right. So if you studied catering, what pulled you into the Pilates space?
I think because of my ballet background, I've always loved movement. I didn't know what I was going to study. I couldn't go and study ballet. My parents didn't think that was a career. And honestly, I didn't think I was good enough to really make it big in the ballet. I think my parents did me a favor. But I always kept dancing throughout my studies, even after I had children. I've always kept going back to ballet classes. And so I think it was definitely movement. I knew I wanted to do something with movement. I just didn't know what. At some point I thought maybe I should become a physio, because I'm very interested in anatomy and physiology. But then with my ballet, I picked up a knee injury. I landed up with Gerda Miller, who's a physiotherapist. She was busy doing a Pilates course. This was in 2000. And she said she can use me as a guinea pig. So I said, sure. I didn't know what Pilates was. And she started using me as almost somebody to practice on while she was doing her course. She did a Start Pilates course. And I just immediately knew, this is it. This is what I want to do. And then after she helped me about 6 months or so, my knee injury had healed. And she said to me, look, you've got such a knack for movement. I can see you love it. Don't you want to go and do the course and come and work for me? So I was like, wow, maybe I should do that. So my kids were at school and I had free time. So I decided I'm going to do it. So I did. And she obviously helped me go through all the anatomy part of the learning, and she took me under her wing. And if it wasn't for her, I honestly don't think I would have made such a success of this career, because she really nurtured me and she really taught me the clinical side of movement and Pilates, so that I'm not just somebody that teaches the choreography. So I think that people like to come to me because I've got a more clinical approach. It's not just about the movement. So that's how I got into it, is through her. So I always say to her, I mean, if it wasn't for her, I would probably not have been here today. So that's what pulled me in, is first of all the love of movement, and secondly how I saw it help me, and then her encouragement.
And I think dancers make natural Pilates instructors.
I think so.
Like if somebody comes and they've got all of this, I've learned this and I've learned that, and they've got dance on the CV, I'm like, I think I can work with this. But obviously there's a lot of other things that also have to come into play. But I think dancers are just natural
I think
movers.
there's an understanding and an awareness of your body and of movement that naturally comes when you've danced for so many years.
And I think also the industry doesn't put enough emphasis on that awareness. You know, it's all about the scientific study and this and that and this and that. And a lot of the times the scientific study is great, but the person trying to teach you what's in the scientific study doesn't have awareness.
Exactly.
So they don't know how to bring the message over to you. Do you know what
it's
I mean?
like somebody that has a feeling about food and cooking.
Yes.
You know, you get somebody that follows a recipe and it's perfect and it's wonderful.
Yes.
And then you get somebody that kind of wings it, that's got a natural intuition.
Yes.
When it comes to, you know, flavors and stuff. I think it's the same with a Pilates instructor. Absolutely. If you don't have a deeper, almost like an instinctive, connection to movement in people's bodies, then you'll never get up there where the best instructors are.
Yes, absolutely. What did you think owning your own studio would be like, and what actually surprised you?
Everything. I think it sounds very romantic, you know, glamorous. I mean, when we started, nobody even knew what Pilates was. You know, I hated going to a dinner party or anywhere, and people ask you, "What do you do?" And then I knew, oh my word, now I'm gonna explain to them, because if I say Pilates, then what is that?
It's like yoga.
Is it like yoga? That's the first thing I ask you. Is it like yoga? It's like, no. And then it's this whole thing about, you know, trying to explain what you're doing, and it's just like, it just tired me. So it was probably not as romantic at that point, but I thought it was going to be much easier.
Okay.
Because, you know, when you start working for somebody, like I think you should, when you want to become an instructor, I think the worst thing you should do is go out and open your studio straight away after you've done your training. So once you work for somebody, and I worked with Gerda for 4 years, you start making little calculations. You know, it's like, oh, if I see so many people an hour times so many hours a day, I'm sure I can make this much money. You know what I mean? And he's like, I can do this, you know? And then it doesn't work that way.
No.
It absolutely does not work that way. So I think I thought it was going to be much easier. You know, you come in, you teach a class, and you go home, and then you got the rest of the day off. No, it's a full-time job. And if those doors close and all your clients have gone, then your real work starts. So I think nobody told me that. And if you don't have true grit and perseverance.
And I feel like maybe people don't take a Pilates studio owner seriously. When in essence, it's actually a business.
It's a proper business.
It's not like I'm just an instructor. Actually, everybody that you see coming in here, I got them in here.
And how did they get in? How did they stay?
Yes, and who spent the money to get them in here? Me, you know?
Exactly, I don't think people realize that.
And I think that's maybe a frustration when you have employees, is they don't realize that the client you're taking now, I paid for to get in here.
Exactly.
You know, so just that little bit of respect would be amazing.
Exactly, I think it looks very easy from the outside, and I think we make it look easy because we love what we do, and we're always smiling, and you know, people see us in town or wherever in a coffee shop, we're always the same.
In active way.
In active way. I think we don't have other clothes.
Looking back, what's the one moment that changed? There must be one moment that changed how you see this work. Like, I know I've got my moments for what I do, which is education. What is your one moment that changed how you see what you do?
When the penny dropped, that it wasn't really about the exercise.
Okay.
It wasn't about, you know, the choreography of the exercise.
Teaser.
It wasn't about the teaser. It's about the biomechanics that's happening in your body while you're doing a certain thing. And that experience is different for every single person. And that motivates me every day to do what I do, because teaching somebody to move from a place that's right for them and to eventually get into whether it's a teaser or whatever, and it's their variation of the teaser that they are capable of, and they're having a good movement experience.
Yes.
I think that's that's how the work changed for me. That I don't have to teach in the beginning, especially when you're coming from a ballet background, if that was my experience. I want to correct everything. I want everybody to do exactly the same thing, and it must look the same, and they must all be picture perfect because it's ballet, you know what I mean? And your foot must be here, and your hand must be there, and your eyes must be there. And I corrected and corrected and corrected. And then I realized one day I'm wasting my time because I'm not giving these people a good movement experience, because all they're doing all day is correcting themselves, which is not the point. The point is for them to move. Yes, they must be safe, and yes, you must make corrections to a point that, you know, they understand what they're supposed to be doing, but it shouldn't be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah, everybody's body is different.
Yes, and how they experience the movement is different from what I experience. And it's not, my job is not to make them do the teaser perfectly. Yes. For me, it's about getting them to a place where they can move with ease and grace, but it doesn't have to look like my teaser.
Absolutely. Yeah, because we know not everybody actually moves the same.
No, and you also don't have to do the teaser.
Yeah, you don't. Right?
You know what I mean?
I always say, nobody's dropping in checkers and doing a teaser.
No.
It's okay.
Exactly. Exactly. And relating it back to functional movements.
100%.
You know, I always say to people, what we're doing now, think of one thing that you do somewhere in your day or in your week that looks a little bit like this. And it's amazing how people start picking that up and realizing, oh my word. And then they'll come back next week and they'll say to me, you know, when I did that at home, I was thinking of this thing we did.
You've been teaching a long time, which means it's repetition every single day of the same thing over and over. In a week, what are the moments that remind you why you're still doing this? Because it's like nearly 30 years, and we're still here.
I know,
I know. What are those things in the week?
I think if I see progress in a client that I thought, oh, this person is never going to get it. And then suddenly one day they surprise me, and it literally brings me to tears. I think I really get emotional about it. And you know, I try not to spoil the moment, so I don't say anything, but I will always send a WhatsApp afterwards and say, like, I'm so proud of you, of what you achieved today. And if it's the smallest thing, I think that makes me want to do this again tomorrow. But also the community that you build, the friendships you actually make. You know, there must always be, I think, a little bit of a boundary between you and your clients, but you do become part of their lives. I mean, I'm sure you've heard them say, I hear you in my head all the time. So you really become, you become integrated into their lives in a way that you didn't expect it to be. And when somebody just, I mean, not that you're looking for acknowledgements all day, but if somebody comes to you and says to you, like, this has really changed my life, then it's like, oh my word.
100%.
We're actually doing something meaningful.
And I think if you don't have that connection with your clients, because this is a people environment, then they don't hear you in their head, and then they don't have that connection with you, which means that's actually not going to help you. You know, you're possibly not going to make a success of this because you haven't kind of molded yourself into a relationship with them, which, like you say, is within boundary. And I have made really, really proper friends as well throughout the years of teaching, where you do cross that boundary and you become proper friends, which has worked out a few times for me. But you don't do that with all your clients. I mean, as I say, there's always, but if they reach out and they, you know, start reaching out as a friend, then you can become proper good friends with some of your clients. But I think if you don't like people, you shouldn't be in this business. 100%. Hey, and if you don't have people skills, and you must have known by now if you have people skills or not. You know, you can just look at the relationships around you, how you feel when you're in a crowded room, or, I mean, not everybody likes a crowded room, but just how you connect with people. Be honest with yourself.
And true to yourself.
100%. If you run your own business, because I know there's other instructors who are thinking of doing it, or some who are already doing it, what is the one thing that you still love about owning your own studio? Like, you own it. What is the one thing you still love about it? Because it is easier to work for someone.
Oh yes, come
Right?
in, teach, go out, go home.
That's it.
Yeah. I think what excites me about having my own business is creating new experiences for my clients, making decisions, like just creating this space now when Aletta had to go on maternity leave. I was excited about providing my clients with a new experience, like when they walked in here, oh wow, you know, this is lovely, and and a renewal of your business, always saying like ahead of the game, and not trying to compete with other businesses, but just trying to refresh your business all the time, so people don't get bored and move on. Because I think that's the biggest challenge, is how do we keep our clients? Because it's easy to open a new business and everybody talks like a new restaurant, you know, oh, we must go to the new coffee shop, we must go to it's beautiful. And then 2 coffees later, you're like,
not that great.
I don't know, it's so great, the waiter irritates me, or the coffee's not great. So everybody will always stream and run to the new place in town, but how do you keep them?
100%.
That is the challenge.
That's the client retention, and that's where we keep saying client service, client service, client service. And I think if you're a business owner, you constantly have to come up with things to, obviously your service and how you give classes and how you take care of them is important, but to create new spaces or a new air freshener or
a candle or something.
Hey,
or just
today
something,
we've got like free coffee or
anything. Or little social gatherings. We had a quiz night last year and a wine tasting or something, you know, just having an end of year kind of, you know, we just make it fun. It's not a function that we have to like be all serious, but just fun things. The quiz night was amazing. I mean, we had they formed teams. And we had some Pilates questions, of course, but we had all sorts of general knowledge questions. And the people absolutely loved it. And then the first thing they said is, when are we going to have another function? So, making things like that so that people also get to know each other outside of the studio. So that because they become friends, because the same people end up usually in the same classes. And they end up exercising 2 or 3 times a week for years. You know, 8 o'clock on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but they never see each other socially. So to bring them outside the studio and to just give them an opportunity to dress up and to just have fun together without being in the studio, I think that also creates a big sense of community.
So we also used to do client breakfasts, and we actually had 2 clients meet each other at the client breakfast and got married.
Oh, that's
wow! Who would have thought that would happen at a Pilates function where we're all just eating scones and cream?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Oh, that's very
So that's
special.
pretty awesome. What is the hardest part of your job that nobody ever sees?
I think preparing new classes.
Okay.
I think that's what my husband will tell you when we meet new people. Then he would always say, like, I come home at like 6:45 in the evening, and then he said, I'm banned from the kitchen because then she takes out her computer and her notepad, and then while she's cooking, she's there trying to figure out new things, and then he peeps through the door and he says, like, can I come in already? And it's like, no, go away, I'm still busy. And then an hour later, I was like, okay, come in. Your work is never done. It's really never done, because if you're not teaching, you're either doing admin or you're prepping. And if you want to keep your practice fresh and you want to keep your clients interested, I think you have to keep shifting the goalposts. You have to keep challenging them in new ways, and doesn't mean you have to make it more difficult and more difficult. You just have to challenge them in so many different ways. And that prep work and that admin and that, you know, behind the scenes is almost harder work than walking into the studio and teaching a class, because then you've done the hard work.
Now you're just performing.
Teaching is the easy part. It's the behind the scenes prepping and admin work. I hate admin.
Me too.
I really hate admin.
I literally pay people to do it.
Me too. Me too.
I'm like, I'm not doing this.
No.
The less admin I can do, the better. It literally
it drains me.
Waiting and waiting and
procrastinating. I'd
rather write a new manual.
Me too. Or teach another class.
100%.
Oh, it's really terrible. And I hate the money part of it. I hate that. I hate doing that. I hate when it gets sticky with certain, you know, you always get one
late cancellations.
I don't like that.
This. And you're like,
I don't like that.
Look, this is where you sign on the dotted line.
That's the hard part. The hard part is the prep and the admin. The teaching is the easy part.
So if a new instructor came to you now and let's say they've been teaching for a while and they say to you, I want to open my own studio, what's the one thing you'd say to them?
Are you prepared to never, ever, 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 ever be off?
Yes, you hit the nail on the head. Right, on holiday, check the phone. Yeah, run to the bathroom. I'm just going to the bathroom for half an hour.
Yeah. Literally, 9 o'clock at night, you know, just before you go to bed. Even when you're away in Buffalo's Bay for a week with your son, you're always busy. If you, and it's not just a Pilates studio, it's any entrepreneurial business.
100%.
You know, there's a reason why we have entrepreneurs and why we have corporate people, whatever it is, and that one's not better than the other, but it's a different species.
Totally.
So I don't think people realize that, because as I said before, we make it look easy, because we come in, we teach, and we smile, and we go home, and people see us in the coffee shop or at the gym or whatever, and she's got such a nice job, you know. She teaches 4 or 5 hours in the morning, and then she's off for the rest of the day,
and you get to exercise all day.
Yeah, and then you only teach in the evening. Oh, such a nice life. So, no. Responsibility, I think the buck stops with you always. It doesn't matter if you have 10 people working for you. You, at the end of the day, you are responsible for everything and everybody in that business. If you don't want that amount of responsibility, don't do it. And you have to have grit. You have to be able to get up every morning and come and do this. If you don't feel like it, you've had a bad night or whatever it is,
you're in menopause.
That's
I'm telling
that's
you,
a whole other topic.
Like, look at the client, you're like, today I'm going to kill you. You say that again, I'm going to whack you on the side of your head.
Do you really want me to step on your foot now? Like, no, it's seriously. Some days, I cry in the bathroom. But you got to stand there with your bright eyes and your big smile and make people think that you just absolutely love them. So because you've got to bring that energy in, because the worst thing they can do is they come into this space to exercise, feel good, and you walk in with a cloud over your head. You got to be the same every single day.
Stable.
You cannot bring your baggage into the class. You cannot let people know that you're going through a hard time or that you had a fight with your whatever. You just have to always be the same.
Stable.
You cannot let anything filter through to your clients.
And I think when you're younger, maybe you're immature, but you feel like you can be a bit more stable. And then you go through that perimenopause, menopause phase, and you're like, I feel so unstable right now.
Yes, absolutely.
Why do I feel like...
You either want to cry all the time, or you want to just kill somebody.
Or you're just like noise sensitive. Why are you talking so loud today? Could you not breathe so loud? Like, why are you breathing so loud in this session? And if you look at the industry as a whole, because obviously social media has allowed us to look at the industry, if there was one thing that you can change in the industry overnight, what's it going to be?
I think having better legislation in our country, because we don't have that, and not that you want to police everybody, because we all have to start somewhere, that you're not allowed to teach if you don't have a certain amount of experience under somebody else.
100%, yes.
So we all have to start somewhere. We all have no experience in the beginning, but I think something like internships, because that's what I do with my best instructors all did an internship with
100%,
me.
yes.
They spent a whole year. Now, not everybody has that luxury to do that, but they spent a whole year in my studio where they came at least 3 times a week for at least 2 or 3 hours, and they sat there. And then they could jump on a bed if there was one, on a mat, whatever, and they could exercise with. But to watch somebody teach is so valuable, and that's, I think, what gave me the edge as well, is to watch how I work with people. You cannot learn that from a book. You can also not learn that from a weekend's course. You got to sit there and watch somebody, watch their body language, watch the way they touch people, their cueing, the tone of their voice, you know, how you're very good with that. I remember I've got a Dutch client who once said to me, she cannot do a class with that instructor that I had because she speaks like this.
Oh, monotone.
And they can't relate. It's got to go up and down. When you want me to move with more intention, you got to speak louder. And once you want me to tone it down, you got to, that it's a simple thing. But I only learned that from watching other people.
100%.
Watching you teach, watching Gerda teach, watching Renee teach, watching Brent Anderson, or all those beautiful people that has all this knowledge, and you must be open to learn from people and don't think you know it all.
I think also I've even found that even if you say to an instructor, sit and observe, they don't even know what they're supposed to be looking for. So I used to say, listen, this is what you're looking at.
Yes.
Okay, in case you didn't know, this is what I want you to notice, you know, where she's standing, how she's doing tactile cueing, how she's used her voice. When the client said this, what did she say? Write it down, because that's going to happen to you.
Yeah.
You know, you can't just sit and look and what now? What am I looking at? So,
or ask questions then afterwards.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's a big challenge. What is your biggest challenge with employing instructors who haven't been through your process? Or sometimes they go through your process and it doesn't work.
To make them realize they must teach the client, not the exercise.
Yes.
They must teach the person. They can't do a one-size-fits-all.
Yes.
Yes, we all have to teach group classes because we have to earn money, and private lessons, you just don't make that. You know, you can't make the same money when you teach only privates. I wish I could, but you can't. But you can still teach a group class with 14 people and still modify the exercises to be suitable for everybody. So you cannot just teach the exercise. I think modifications, I wish there was just a whole course on modifications, like for all new instructors, because I think they also go for courses that is almost more on the surface level, and you know, just want to learn the exercises. And I always say to my instructors, I can give you a book with all the exercises, and you can go and read it every night before you go to bed. You're still not going to be a good teacher because you'll only know the exercises. If there's one thing I can change, is that they must realize that they have to delve deeper into how to make it more client specific.
Yes, that's a big one. And I think everybody's struggling with these big group classes now, because it's also inexperienced instructors that are thrown into these classes, and you don't teach somebody with a spinal fusion and who's pregnant, this one's pregnant and that one's had a shoulder injury and this one's 80 years old. You don't teach them the same.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think when you try and meet them all at the same space as a teacher, even with your voice, you lose them.
Oh yes, absolutely. And I also think that when I was younger, look, I only started teaching when I was around between 31 and 32. I was an adult, but I was not really an adult. So you have actually less patience. Because you think you know. And a lot of the clients are older than you. Because at that point when we started, it was only the older people or the injured people that came to Pilates. No young, healthy people. So there was already a challenge there. You just didn't have the people skills and the maturity to work with older people, because sometimes you felt intimidated. Because this client is 55 and you're 30. And she could be your mother or whatever, and you sometimes felt a bit intimidated. And then you know, what you want to teach doesn't come across the way you want it to come across. So if I look back now, I mean, yes, I think I was always a good instructor because of Gerda, but I'm so much better now, not because I'm teaching better exercises, it's just because I understand people more. That's big. I understand what you're going through, because you know, I'm also a mother, or you know, I also had a son that had this issue, or whatever it was, whatever, you know, you can relate to people the older you get. So I think I really feel sorry for the young instructors. It's okay if you only teach young people. But as soon as there's an older person walking through your door that's got a few challenges, it's hard. It's hard to teach them.
You need that maturity and that wisdom.
And that doesn't just come overnight.
No, and I think that's what makes specific studios work. And other studios work and they become successful, but I think that there's a taper down eventually because people realize that they need something else. I think studios work really well when it becomes a people-served studio.
Absolutely.
Not a exercise studio.
Or a money-making studio.
It's like I'm serving the person, I'm getting paid for it, I'll put all I can into it, but they will walk out here feeling better about themselves, not like they did a sequence.
Yes, I think that's the secret.
Yeah.
Is that how you make them feel and not what you make them do.
Absolutely. There's a lot of struggling instructors out there. Some are struggling financially, some are struggling with imposter syndrome.
Oh, yes. Well, I still have that.
I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing depending on what it's for. Like that just shows that there's something that you need to learn and that's a great thing. But when it extends for an extended period of time,
it takes over your whole...
constantly feeling like I'm not good enough, I don't know what I'm doing. For those instructors who are either struggling financially or they just don't think they're good enough, what advice would you give them? There has to be something that you
reach out to an older instructor in your area. I mean, I've tried so hard, Tanya, to bring instructors together, to create a community in Paarl. I've invited instructors to my studio. I said, come on a Friday. Let's do one Friday a month. And everybody in Paarl come together to my studio. I've got lots of equipment. And let's talk about the industry. Let's talk about our challenges. Let's talk about clients that you find difficult. Not that I can help you. I'm not saying that.
But it's a community.
By talking about it, I can make you feel like you can deal with this. Let's make a Friday where you teach a class and I learn from you. And then the next Friday I teach a class and everybody can learn from me. And then the next instructor come in and we can all at least get an hour to exercise together. And we can laugh about it and we can, and, you know, in that hour we can say, I've got a client that really cannot understand what I'm saying when I'm teaching this. Can you help me find a different cue? Because sometimes it's something small like a cue that person just connects with, like, oh, is that what you mean? You know?
Exactly.
And I didn't have that cue in my toolbox, but you had that cue, and I can take that from you. Because I always say to my instructors, I don't have the monopoly over the knowledge of Pilates. I also learned from somebody else. So I don't own that knowledge. So I'm supposed to share that knowledge. I think it's very selfish if you are somebody with more than 20 years experience and you want to just keep all the knowledge to yourself because you're the best and you want to, like, you know, whatever. I think it's our responsibility to share our knowledge and to bring the young instructors into our studios and say, what can I help you with? Because I was there too. I also didn't know. So I wish I had her, thank God for that. But I think if we can get a sense of community instead of competition, like you my competition, I don't want to like share with you and just now you take my clients. I don't need your clients. I really don't.
If you're doing a good job,
and I believe each client will be attracted to the right studio. So the client that's going to be attracted to you is not necessarily going to be attracted to me. And that's okay. We all will find our clients.
Totally.
So you don't have to be scared that I'm going to steal your clients. So I really want instructors to be able to reach out and come and say, I need help. I don't know how to deal with a pregnant client. Can you please, let's do a prenatal workshop next weekend. Sure, absolutely. Let's do it.
That's amazing.
So because I'm backing off a little bit from education at the moment because there's so many things going on in my life, but I still want to teach workshops. I still want to, I want to just do a Friday afternoon or something like that.
I think that's an amazing idea.
Come and talk to me about whatever you want to talk to me about, whichever client, scoliosis, whatever it is. I don't know everything, but I can tell you what I know.
So I sometimes feel like if I see a new studio's opened and it's a super young instructor, I immediately feel empathy.
Me too.
I'm like, me too. There's so much that you're still going to learn and there's so many hurdles, and I just hope that you have the grit to see it through, because we know that they give up really quickly.
They do.
A year, 2 years max, and the studio's closed. Just to realize that you don't know everything and you've only just started to learn.
I mean, there's a few times that I wanted to give up. There's even now sometimes I just want to leave everything.
Even this one that I opened now, I had no intention of doing that because I had one in Pretoria and I was I did that. 13 instructors. I'm done. Like, I don't want to do that again. And then when we came here, my husband said to me, you have the equipment in storage. You don't have to do it like you did before when you've got all these. Small. Just keep it small, keep it like boutique, and do it if you want to, because I actually wanted the space for filming. That's all I wanted, was the space for filming and creating courses. And then I was like, okay, I'll do it. And I actually forgot that I actually really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
You know, and luckily I'd learned from everything that I did there.
You're not going to make the same mistakes.
I'm not going to do this.
No,
but,
no.
You know, and have all of these different personalities in there that I've got to manage the whole time and take care of because this one doesn't like that one.
Exactly.
That was exhausting for me. Staff, like different age groups, clashing, different personalities. This one doesn't like people much.
Yeah.
This one talks too much and overshares, and then having to rope them in and say, don't ever say that to a client ever again. You know, they don't want to know that about you.
Yes,
you know?
exactly.
Don't ever tell a client that. And then they're like, why are you controlling me? Well, nobody wants to actually know that about you.
They're not supposed to know everything about you.
You've literally just, when they come in, they just they look up to you.
Yes.
That's how I see it.
The
client looks up to you. You are going to be their body mentor, getting them, and you've just downgraded, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You know, you can
they
share.
don't realize it in a quick, like an instance. They can break that.
You'll have a moment with them maybe one day where you're going to get to know them a bit better.
After years.
Definitely not.
And you always wait for them to share with you first before you share anything with them.
Absolutely.
So until then, you are just there to bring the best out of them. Yeah.
Absolutely. If there was an instructor who came and said, I'm done and I just want to give up, I just can't do this anymore, what would you say to them? Because there's a couple of things that you would have to take into account. What would you say to them to have them not walk away? Or what would you assess to see whether you think they should walk away?
I think I'll ask them, why did you start doing this in the first place? Because sometimes we forget, why did we start doing this in the first place? So if you can remember what made you want to do this, if you're just going to say it was for the money, you might as well leave it. Because you must not be in this for the money.
Yeah.
Not that we don't make a good income, but your main motivation should not be money.
Yeah.
It should be, if you tell me I want to make a difference in people's lives, then you're in the right place.
I think also in terms of instructors who want to walk away, I would always look at two things. The first thing is I would look at whether I think this is the right environment for you, because a lot of people think that this is, like you said earlier, such a cool place to work. You've got your exercise kit on. I'm gonna, have my little water bottle with me, my nice little toe socks, but you're actually not a people person. So if I had to pick that up, then I would say maybe this isn't the environment for you.
Yeah.
But if you are a people person, then it would be a situation where I'd say to them, we need to just break down what your struggles are, because this is such a good space for you, but the business side of it is probably getting you down.
I think I will ask them, what are you struggling with? If it is you're struggling with the people, then you're probably not in the right business, because you're always going to struggle with people. For as long as you teach Pilates, there will always be challenges with people. You work with different personalities, different ages, different genders, different whatever, sexual orientations, cultures. So then you should rather maybe think of something else. But if your battles are administrative or financial or whatever, there's always ways to overcome that, I think.
Yes.
And I think the best thing to do is to get advice from an expert, and rather spend money on somebody that can teach you how to manage your finances properly, or pay somebody to do your admin if it's what you hate to do. Get somebody to do it for you. If it's social media, go on a course or get somebody to do it for you. If you've got that kind of administrative issues or practical things, then it's fine. But if it's a people thing, I don't think you should pursue. You cannot teach somebody kindness.
No.
And you've got to be inherently kind to do this job.
Absolutely.
You get people who are used to getting what they want. And it can make your life very difficult. Or, wanting to customize a package for them that suits them because they go away so often, but they want a special package because they're going to be away for 3 months, and to be able to say no, and to say this is, and to value yourself as a business person and as a business owner, to say no, my business doesn't work that way. So I'm so sorry. I know what you're saying. I have understanding for that, but unfortunately, then you might want to find a different studio.
Yeah.
Because if you do it for one person, you got to do it for a lot of people.
100%. One tip for marketing that built your studio. I think I know
Word of mouth.
That's what I knew you were going to say that.
It's the only thing.
And you know why it works so well? If you give good service.
Yeah.
Right? If you give good service, you don't have to spend any money on marketing. You might have to initially so people just know about you. But then when they walk into that space, go all out.
Yeah.
To make them love you.
I think I feel sorry for the young people in the industry now because they have to compete with all these things that they see on Instagram. They have to look a certain way, they have to dress a certain way. This whole fight that's going on in the industry at the moment of people doing weird and wonderful things on reformers. That's because the reformer is now the, the in thing and the it word and the whatever. I don't think Pilates is a trend. For me, it's never been a trend. I mean, we've been doing this, as you say, for almost 30 years.
Yeah.
So I've had reformers for most of those years.
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't
actually
know what the hype is about it.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that's the world that they're now growing up in.
Yeah.
And these young instructors think that this is the way it should be, and they must have 20 reformers in a room, and they must have all these merchandise and whatever it is, and a smoothie bar and heaven knows. All of that costs money. And I would say start small. I mean, I started with one reformer and a little mat studio.
That's
and
it.
And then you grow from there. Grow your clients before you grow your equipment or your whatever it is.
Yes.
And as you say, some people that own studios are not instructors. They just open it because it's a business and then they employ whoever. I feel sorry for those young instructors that see all these things on Instagram, and we never had that. Now, we didn't have to deal with that when we started. There was no Facebook, there was no Instagram. I remember pamphlets.
Hundreds.
I mean, going on a sports day and putting the pamphlets on the windows of the car.
Standing at the robot.
I mean, hello.
No internet.
And a newspaper ad. I spent money on newspaper ads.
And magazines.
And and what else did we do? I can't even remember. We did physical, you had to go and do a talk.
Yes.
At a school, whatever.
Yes.
I remember when I moved to Paarl, I had no clients.
Yeah.
Because I opened. Each time I moved down, I had to start all over again.
Yeah.
So then you have to can I please come and have a talk to you,
Yeah.
and then you got to do a cheese and wine and, talk to people about it.
I used to pay a guy named Lucky to stand
At the robot.
your name is awesome. Standing at the robot for weeks and weeks and weeks on end, handing out pamphlets.
That's what
how
we did.
I started.
Exactly.
And I actually think that was the best thing for us because we learned to come up with plans.
Yes.
We couldn't just post a video and people see us. We were no, we got to design this thing, we got to hand it out, we got to go do talks, which built our confidence as well.
Go to doctors, go to physios, put your little pamphlets down, ask them, can you please come and, put there. No, and at every coffee shop, can I please put my pamphlets? Can I please put a poster in the toilet? Can I put the poster behind the toilet door?
Yeah, the one coffee shop I said, every time somebody buys a cappuccino, can you put this voucher in there? Can we work together?
100%.
Quick question. What is your take on classical versus contemporary Pilates?
Oh, that's another thing in the industry.
Yeah.
Look, I'm classically trained. I think like you are too.
I was more contemporary.
But what is that now?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I'm stuck on one or the other.
Yeah.
I think it's a blend for me.
Yeah.
I think classical for me doesn't mean the way Joseph Pilates moved and treated his clients and did all those things. I mean, that's a bit, push your head down. I mean, that's ridiculous. But I mean, the method is incredible.
Yeah.
I think his vision behind it was insane. He was just a visionary.
Yeah.
So I still believe in the method. I still believe in the principles, not the proper 36 exercises, not necessarily that, but the method and the principles and I still believe in that, and I apply that in every single exercise I teach.
Yeah.
But I have moved on beyond that long ago already, and I think that's how I keep clients as well, is to keep on creating new ways of doing the same old exercise. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because if you break it all down, it comes back to the same thing.
Yeah.
So I always say to people, look inside this exercise, you will find, the single leg stretch and the this and the that and the whatever. But we blended it into something different.
Yeah.
But the base of it is still what we learned on the mat. And I think it's sad for me that mat Pilates has gone out the window in some studios. I cannot understand that. Mat for me is still the foundation of everything.
And yet, a lot of people say reformer first and then mat, and I don't agree with it.
Look, if you think that way, it's nothing to do with me. It's fine. I think why they probably say that is because the reformer gives you so much support. And I think that if you do foundation work on the reformer, it might help you to understand the mat work better, because you can maybe create the sensations you felt, the resistance you felt on the reformer, you can create on the mat. I think that was his idea. That's why he made the reformer, because people didn't get the mat work. So I understand that, but I still think you got to start on the mat. And I still think that you have to do at least one mat class a week, or at least every second week you must do 1 or 2 mat classes as a client. And people don't like mat. Why don't they like mat? Because it's hard. It's much harder than the reformer. If you're doing it correctly, it is still the best.
Absolutely. One of my clients in America, so they travel quite a bit, so then he doesn't have his reformer with him. He was wherever in the resort, and we just did mat. And at the end he was like, holy cow.
Exactly.
Absolutely broken.
Exactly.
You know,
people
they
forget.
underestimate that like flow of one into the next. But I love the foundation that the mat gives. Solid, pelvical here, switching it over, taking it to the reformer. For me, I feel like the mat kind of introduces you to everything, and then you bring it to the reformer, and we just build on it over there and make it amazing.
I think for me it's a red flag if a studio doesn't teach mat. I would not recommend anybody to a studio that doesn't teach mat as well.
Okay, interesting. I love that.
Absolutely. And you can get a new instructors again. If you want to start a business, start with a mat and a little squishy ball, and maybe a flex band. It will keep you busy for 6 months. I promise you. If you get creative with those two things, and then then you can add a big ball or a circle or a foam roller, and it can keep you busy for another 6 months. You don't have to have a reformer. So this big hype about the reformer, it's really not a big deal. I mean,
what about the Cadillac?
Well,
the Wonder Chair. There's lots of other
things.
What was it about the reformer that made you guys start this? Because you could have done group Wonder Chair classes.
Or group.
But it happened to be a reformer.
I mean, there's so many other pieces of equipment that you could have started with. A Wonder Chair takes up much less space, and it's cheaper.
You could have had 50 people in that class.
That's hard. That's a hard piece of equipment.
Yes, absolutely. Also underestimated.
But it shows you what media does.
Absolutely.
If it was a hype about the Wonder Chair, would have been now all the studios would have had Wonder Chairs.
Exactly.
But now everybody how long is that going to last, do you think?
I personally think people will do it for a short period of time, and if they get a taste of something more meaningful, because let me tell you why I say that. We just had a lady come in who is doing training in a different country at a different studio, very structured, so extremely classical, just sticking to that the whole time. And so she obviously follows us. So she came into the studio and she did a session, and she walked out and she was like, I did not expect that. She said, I did not expect to work so hard. I did not expect any of that. That was an eye-opener for me. So if they do get the opportunity, not that she's not going to go back, but now she's seen that there's two different sides to this. I can do this, which I've loved for the longest time. But
there's another world there.
There's another opportunity. There's another world. So I could literally go and do this as well. And I think it's that moment when people start realizing there could be more to this. There could be something that's so specific to me, because that's what the session was, that I want that. So it's like going to a group fitness class. You love it, you feel great, until you have that one session that changes everything for you. And you're like, actually, I want a personal session. Because this works for me. I'm willing to pay for that. I mean, I can't say that the reformer is going to fade. I think the younger generation that's so much into the reformer, that might change. Because they love it and it's a fad, and it's like reformer and matcha, so that's great. I don't know what it is about matcha. It tastes like I'm drinking grass. I'm like, why would you liquidize grass? I think we could chai tea maybe, but a matcha.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I'm not into that.
No, not at all. But maybe what will happen is, as that younger generation gets older, and they start getting those ailments that are definitely coming,
Oh, yes.
they'll realize that this big group thing that I'm doing now is not going to work
not
for
so
me.
great,
I need
yeah.
something that's a bit more zoned in. Or you fall pregnant and you realize you're in this group class, but actually this is not working for you anymore. So maybe there'll be a shift. I think there might be. I think people are going to look for quality over quantity.
I believe so. I definitely believe
Even on
that.
social media, I think people are like sick and tired of seeing rubbish, and they're sick and tired of listening to people's opinions that just make no sense.
And this whole debate about, is Pilates strength training, is it not, does it build muscle, does it not, and all these people having a fight on Instagram, I'm really sick and tired of that as well.
It's so annoying.
Because, I mean, what does it matter?
Yeah.
Just move, just
Yeah.
exercise,
Yeah.
you know, why must there be a debate over whether it builds muscle or not? I mean, you can teach it in a way that builds muscle, you don't have to teach it in a way that builds muscle,
Yes.
it's your choice. You know,
Sometimes
do
I
what's right
think-
for you, but this whole fight, I'm really like, I'm getting so over it.
I think as well, if you are a person who trains in the gym and you do Pilates, you have a better concept of that. But if you just train in the gym and you don't ever get yourself on the Pilates equipment, you actually don't know what you're comparing it to. Because if you get on the reformer and you load it with 2.5 springs and you do a bicep curl, you're going to have a problem. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
You're going to be like, what the hell? Why
Exactly.
can't? And I mean, I've taken rugby guys.
Yeah, me too.
And they have to pull the bed and they're like
what?
I can't move it.
No.
And I'm like, oh no.
They're dripping with sweat afterwards. I know.
I know, it's heavy. Like,
Yeah.
you know, as that spring pulls, it increases in its resistance.
That's what the people don't realize. I think
Yeah.
a spring is just a spring.
Yeah, it's not a
Doesn't.
little floppy spring.
No.
It's actually got resistance.
Yeah.
And we can load these beds,
Yeah.
you know, to work against what you're capable of.
Yeah.
And if you're not capable of it, then that's the problem, right? That means that
Exactly.
if I'm pushing you, today I was working with a client and I was like, she was suffering and she literally couldn't do the last 2 reps.
Well, that's,
and I was
then,
like,
then she's building muscle.
you're at failure.
Yeah.
You're at failure, and I don't even know if we can go and do another set. And then she'll do like 3 rather than 6,
Yeah.
and she'll be like, this is all I can do. Well, thank you.
Well, that's it.
So
exactly.
for you, this is working.
Exactly. No,
Yeah.
exactly. I
Yeah.
love it.
But I love the idea that you have of instructors getting together on a Friday.
Yes, and I've tried it and people were not interested. I don't know.
They're
I
in
think
competition mode.
that's the problem, yeah. And I mean, not most of the instructors, but a few instructors that are in Paarl went through my training.
Oh.
So, you know, and ended up working for me for a few years and then moved on and opened their own businesses. So, yeah, so
Maybe
I've
they
got
think,
like,
yeah.
you know, that one and that one and that one and that one all went through me. So I don't know if they think, well, they've been with me, so why do they have to like, but I mean, I'm still learning.
Yeah.
Every day. I mean, you know, so I don't know how they think that they shouldn't still be learning.
No, I still
And I mean, I'm
learn.
offering you this at like
Yeah.
no charge.
Yeah. And it's just community.
And just, yeah, and come and talk to me about whatever's
Yeah.
bothering you. I can talk to you at least, because it gets lonely in this industry if you don't have colleagues on the same page as you. You know, I mean, I've got my instructors working for me, but I mean, you don't always want to, you know, you talk to them all the time anyway.
Yes.
So you also
No.
want to get somebody fresh.
Yes.
And I mean, I want to pick your mind as well. And it's like, what do you think about this? And blah, 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 you know? And I think we should really try and build a community in Paarl.
I'll join your Friday brainstorming.
Thank you.
Yes.
Awesome.
I'll be your first
What
one.
was your moment? You said you know exactly your moment of why you...
My moment was when I was actually a student. I just started. And we were on course. And the one thing that I had was my public speaking. So I knew how to deliver and how to communicate. So that was my big thing. And we were sitting on this course and we were learning all of this repertoire, and I had dance. So for me, I'd look at the rep once and I'd be like, got it.
Yeah, got
Because
it.
it's like a
Yeah.
choreography.
Exactly. That's why I find
You
it
know?
easy to remember exercises, because that's how your brain works.
That's it. And then they would say, okay, let's teach it. And I'd go and I'd teach it.
Yeah.
And then the other people in the room who had none of that experience would come and try and teach it and just be like at a complete loss. But the person teaching us the course would just leave them like that. And I would look at this, and I mean, I was young, I was 21, and I thought, I'm like feeling sorry for them, because actually this,
How are
this
they
is not-
ever going to
this is not going to
get
work,
there?
yeah. And then when we were on that course, we were all on course together, And they saw that I was able to put the movement into words. So they came to me and they were like, can you help me? And I thought, oh, geez. And then where I was working, they were not happy with the fact that I was on course helping people on course.
Oh, I see. Yes.
But I was like, but you're not helping.
Yeah.
So must I just leave them?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I'm happy to help these people.
Yeah.
So they were literally private messaging me, going, hey, listen, when can we get together and you can just help me brainstorm this? And that's when I realized, hang on a minute, there's something that's really missing, because you're just teaching us the exercise.
Exactly,
and I know it's the
exactly.
beginning of a course and we've got to learn the exercises, so I get it.
Yeah.
Because I also teach them the repertoire.
Yeah, of course you have to.
But what do we do beyond that?
Beyond that.
Like when you qualify them, but like I know that they're missing a skill that's so crucial for them. You basically set them up for failure.
Yeah. 100%.
Because, you know, some of them were just doing it because, I mean, there were a few housewives there who had
I was
been working
bored
for
and
years.
they just did it for like, I don't know.
You know, they're going to do it now, and or the one's retiring, so she wants to teach these classes. If you're in a room and everybody's teaching and there's silence, then something is wrong. Like, how are you? And in another moment, I had 2 moments actually. I went to present a course in the UK in this big hall in the centre of London, and there must have been 50 instructors. And I said to them, we're doubling up and we're all going to teach, and I gave them a specific hip exercise. And I stood there and the entire hall was silent. And I was like, there's 25 of you teaching right now and I don't hear anything. And they were just sitting behind the clients and just like some cross-legged watching, leg opening, maybe a bit of counting, but it was just like nothing. And then I just said to them, guys, just stop. This can't happen. Like,
You can't just watch the person do the exercise.
and from the back, and you're not saying anything. You know, I can't be in a room with 25 instructors teaching and it's silent. And that was the second moment that I had where I was like, okay, actually, they've just never been taught how to do it differently.
No.
You know, just how do you put this into words?
Yeah.
How do you show up?
Yeah.
Because it's not just repertoire, like you said. It's not just an exercise.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're very good at that. I remember I did a class with you, I think even years and years and years ago. I think it was with Theo.
You see, I did recognize you.
And we were, there was a, that she also did a conference thing.
Yes, okay.
And you did a math class on, I think on cueing or something. I can't remember what the theme of the class was. But you basically, what I took away from it, you might have tried to teach something completely different.
I'll see what you took away.
And what I took away was your cueing and how you have to use your voice.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people don't see you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying now what I heard you say.
Yeah.
Because people are lying on their backs, and some people do close their eyes when they're in a moment and they're doing a bridge or whatever they're doing. And how your voice has to tell them what they can't see.
Yes.
So, because otherwise they got to lift their heads up all the time and look behind them, or where are you now, And that's something that one of my instructors said to me a while ago. She said to me, when I'm in your class, and she's now an instructor, she works for me, when I'm in your class, I don't have to look at you once.
Yes.
I can just listen.
Totally.
And I can be in my body and just do what you say and what you're telling me to do.
Yes.
Because that's something I took away from
Amazing.
that, because we're not supposed to demonstrate all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's something difficult, I'll quickly jump on and I'll do something.
Yeah.
But so that's something I really took from you, is that you have to really use your voice and your tone of voice and your words and so on, and not, and demonstrate as little as possible.
100%. I love that. Awesome. I am so grateful that you did this today.
Thank you.
Because I think,
Thank you.
and I'm so glad that we actually sat and
finally
spoke.
I know.
Now I know who Spice Root is.
Exactly.
It's not me.
But I've had people phone me and ask for you. And then I have a whole conversation on the phone with them, and then eventually I realize, oh no, they think they're talking to you and it's not you. It's like, no, you're talking to the wrong person.
So I'm so grateful that you did this. I think this is going to be very eye-opening.
What's something you're tired of pretending isn't hard? Ik weet niet wat zal dit wees, nee. Maybe
For me, it would be Thursdays.
For For me, it's a Wednesday because I've got so many diverse things going on. And there's an online class, and then a private class, and then a foundation class, and then an advanced class. It's like you have to think.
That's it.
Yeah, all the diversity of every.
That's it.
Ja.
Thursdays vir my is just
Is dit vir jou so?
Ja,
As Woensdag by is ek fine.
Ja, as donderdagoggende begin, dan moet ek 'n gesprek met myself hê.
Okay, julle moet sê wanneer julle reg is. Ek sal probeer natural wees.
Ja. No, so that's why I'm like, I want to be a granny, but
No. Please wait.
not right now, but I can't wait. I keep saying to them, I'm going to be the best granny that you've ever seen in your life.
I know, me too. They're going to hate me because I'm going to spoil them so much.
Yeah, and I said to both my girls, if you just tell your husband that he can at one point say to you, tell your mom she can't come today. Tell your mom I need some space. I'll be okay with it because I've given him permission.
You will really, will you?
As long as I've given him permission.
Okay. Jy sien ek is die skoonma.